We're really excited right now to link up with the voice of the Nats. You can listen to Nats Cubs right here on 106.7 The Fan this afternoon. Charlie Slows and Dave Jagler will have the call, and Charlie Slows joins us now on the Rude Guest Hotline. Charlie, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're doing well, man.
Charlie, obviously, opening day at home is always the best feeling, but opening day at Wrigley's got to be really cool.
It is. Second time the Nats have had a season opener at Wrigley Field. It's going to be a little warmer than the first time because we were freezing when they did this in 2012, but maybe a good omen because they went on to win 98 games that year and go to the postseason for the first time. So if that's good, go with that.
Let's hope it happens again. You never know.
What are you expecting from Cade today?
Well, he's looked terrific. Looked terrific in the spring. His fastball was electric. We're hoping that continues for him, and he gets off to a great start. 100% healthy. Sky's the limit for him.
It certainly is. I think for Cade Cavalli, he's had such an interesting journey. First round pick, so much excitement, and then just deals with injury after injury after injury. You were down there in the spring. How do you think he is mentally grown from all the fights he's had, all the injury battles, to now getting that opening day start?
Oh, I mean, he's super excited. There's no question about that. You go through a Tommy John and setbacks in the recovery and just never feeling right and wondering, when you'll be able to just air it out and be able to recover and do it again in 5 days. And he was finally able to do that last year as they worked him along in the minor leagues and then came up and had the electric stuff at the end of the season. And so a great honor for him with some veterans on the staff that they brought in to hand the ball to him for opening day. And I think everybody's excited to see how he is going to be because he has, potential. Obviously, he's number one today, but he has number one type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what are we expecting from the bats, Charlie? I don't know if the wind's blowing out there in Chicago or what, but last year James Wood had an all-time first half of the season. Those numbers slowed down in the second. Let's start with Wood. I mean, he's the power bat this lineup's going to need. What are you expecting from him?
He's in the leadoff spot in the lineup that Blake Buterra is making out for the first time. We were wondering about that. Said he had 6 or 7 different lineups that he was playing around with, and he used Wood in the leadoff spot a lot in spring training. We didn't know if that was to get at bats, as many as possible, whether we really liked it. Wood seemed to fare well when he was in that position last year, especially the first half of the year when he drew a ton of walks. So we'll see how it plays out. When you're in the leadoff spot, you're going to get more at bats than anybody else. So we'll see if he can sustain what he did in the first half through an entire season and really his second go-around for a full season after coming up in the middle of 2024.
Charlie, what's been your favorite opening day Nats story?
Oh, wow. There's 21 of them before today. Favorite opening, I don't know if I have a single one. Actually, I do, because it was the first opening day at RFK State after all those years. Washington, D.C. was out without baseball. And watching people at RFK Stadium, the press box was kind of on a catwalk. You could look out and see the people at RFK Stadium. You remember it came in the mid-level, and then the lower bowl was below street level. So I could see people come in, and the Nats were taking batting practice, and watch people of all different ages, especially people who were alive when the Senators played at RFK Stadium. I'm basically seeing people crying, tears running down their cheeks. They were so excited to have baseball back. And then they had a great game. Livan Hernandez throwing a shutout till the 9th inning. Chad Tracy hits a 3-run homer, but Chad Cordero comes in and closes the door, and the Nats won. Sellout crowd, 45,000. President Bush threw out the first pitch. It was an unbelievable atmosphere. Outside of that, the opening of Nationals Park, Ryan Zimmerman hits a walk-off home run to beat the Braves in the bottom of the 9th inning. I would say those two are at the top of the list, hard to top.
So, dude, I was at both of those, Charlie. And for me, just as a DC kid that never had his own team, I always rooted for the Orioles, but that was never your team. You know what I mean? To be there at RFK was emotional, and then to be there at Nats Park when Zim hit that bomb and seeing And I've been clear. I don't think they did a great job with Nats Park. It's a nice park, but like when you go around baseball and you see some of the other parks, they left a lot to be desired, I would say. But to be at Nats Park in that moment when it's brand new, I don't know which one was better. They were both epic, and I ended both nights at Capitol Lounge, which was pretty damn fun too. Those were both just incredible moments, man.
Yeah, RFK Stadium, the way that team got off to a 5-4 start on a road trip that took them to Atlanta, Miami, and Philadelphia that nobody expected. And then you got to the point where they were playing 500 baseball and get to June, and they run off 10 wins in a row and go 20-6 that month, and they're 19 games over 500. Every 5.5 game first place lead at the midway point of the season, everywhere you went in the city, there was Nats gear, there was stuff on the street signs. It was amazing. It was like they had already won something without winning anything.
So as we get to this year, right, obviously the scope of the operation has changed in Washington. You get a regime change in Rizzo out and Taboni in and all the people he's instilled. You also kind of get a mindset change going from more scouting to now really, really heavy analytics based. As this season goes on, who are some of the guys you think might surprise fans that aren't necessarily expecting a lot? I know there's a lot of excitement. I talked to Ryan Zimmerman the other night at the Red Carpet Gala, and he was talking about Brady House. I was just talking with one of the fans in here who was saying Brady was really hitting well in the spring. Is that a guy you think could maybe emerge this season?
Well, naturally, Zim would be taking a close look at the guy playing.
I figured that right? Too, yeah.
But he was high on Brady last year, and Brady had a slow start coming up from AAA. He didn't hit for the power that he did in the minor leagues, but he had a great spring, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. We've seen guys have great springs, get off to slow starts. And, Zim used to be like that. He hated when he had a good spring because usually meant he didn't get off to a good start. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, he's getting a chance to be in there almost every day against all comers. The other guy I'm really excited to see play, and he's already a super exciting player defensively, is Nasim Nunez. He's going to get a chance to play a lot at second base. He's a magician with the glove. He can steal a ton of bases. And if he's able to translate that hand-eye coordination that makes him an electric fielder to the batter's box and be able to hit and get on base, the value for him skyrockets. He will be a super exciting player to watch. Players love the clubhouse. Around the clubhouse, he's one of the most popular guys. Everybody loves him. The more you watch him, the more you like watching him play. Nunez
at the red carpet, he's got some swag to him too. Like kind of a quiet guy, but he was dressed well, and he was an exciting guy to kind of chat and just talk to a little bit. One guy that I know a little bit, and I'm just a huge fan of, like the human to start with, and then the way he plays defense, is Jacob Young. Is there growth potential in his bat? Like, can he get to that 280 range and then really become a weapon for this team?
Well, like Nunez, that's something we need to find out. With Dylan Cruz having been sent to AAA, he had a little less of a logjam in the outfield. Today it's going to be Wood, Jacob Young, and Joey Weimer in right. Dalen Lyle is going to be the designated hitter today. And that's getting an extra right-handed bat in there with a left-handed pitcher and Matt Boyd going for the Cubs. But they need to find that out. Last year was very much a struggle for him, particularly against right-handed pitching. When he hurt his wrist last year, he didn't bunt after he hurt his hand, getting hit by a pitch trying to bunt early in the year. So it took some of the element of speed out of his game. He struggled on the bases, getting leads and getting jumps for stolen bases, particularly against left-handed pitching. We'll have to watch for that today, something Dave and I will talk about in our pregame show, the pitching matchup. Matthew Boyd has 27 career pickoffs. 11 of them were last year, and he led the major leagues in pickoffs. So the Nats plan to be aggressive on the bases, but you really got to be careful with this guy on the mound today.
Charlie, last one. There's been some question what they're going to do at first base. It's not Luis Garcia today. What do you expect from at first base position?
Well, I think right now you're going to see a platoon, which means it'll be mostly Garcia because you face more right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. I don't know that they'll use one of them as a DH at times. That's possible also. They have two backup infielders in Jorbit Bibas and Jose Tena, both left-handed hitters. Bibas can play second, short, and third. Tena is mostly second and third, so they're a little bit more of a left-handed hitting roster. You got Drew Millis, the backup catcher, is a switch hitter. And so, one of the things to watch is how they tinker with the roster, with the bench. I think a lot of that'll depend too on, when Dylan Cruz gets here, because that might not necessarily knock an outfielder off the roster. It might knock an infielder off the roster. So all that remains to be seen. I think we're going to see, with flexibility of players who have options to the minor leagues, same thing with the bullpen, so that you don't have tired arms. I think you're going to have more roster flexibility and changes during the course of the year than what we've seen the past few years, where they didn't have that type of roster flexibility.
Hey, Charlie, have a great call on the game. Enjoy Wrigley. Thank you so much for making time. We'll be listening this afternoon as the Nats take on the Cubs opening day.
All right, guys, I'll give you a tip. The wind is supposed to start blowing out at 1 o'clock Central Time, and the temperature by the late afternoon is supposed to drop 30 degrees in 2 hours.
Woo! So
that's a lot.
60 to 30. That's insane.
Sounds like you're saying the wind blowing out makes me want to take the over, Charlie, but I don't know what to do with the temperature.
But right now there's no wind. So I don't know if you can do that before the game starts, because I don't know when it's going to change.
Okay. I'll consult Doug Kammerer. Thank you for the time, Charlie.
All right, Charlie.
Appreciate
Take
you,
care,
brother.
man.